Okay, Engineer Dea, please lead a prayer, no? A short prayer lang before we'll start.
Okay, sir. So, for those who are Catholics, ma'ams and sirs, let us do the sign of the cross. Others, Heavenly Father, thank you for the blessing, for the everyday blessings that we receive from the food that we take and from the healthy body that we receive. May you continue to bless us as we continue our day this evening. May you feel the knowledge that we are required to take for this class, and also bless our teacher and to be able to impart the necessary information that we needed to take. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Dea. So we have Engineer Bandulis.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Wala si Engineer Bandulis.
Sir, hello. Good afternoon, sir. Good evening. Di ko madugan.
Engineer Bobadilla. Engineer Dadoli.
Good evening, sir.
Engineer Saluta. Adila Saluta, rather. Engineer Dinlaza Dea. Engineer Gabitano.
Present, sir. Good evening.
Engineer Lacuesta.
Good evening, sir. Present po.
Engineer Laruga.
Good evening, sir.
Engineer
Present.
Matilo. Engineer Namukatkat.
Good evening, sir. Present.
Engineer Tuting.
Good evening, sir. Present.
Engineer Onabia.
Good evening, sir. Present.
So I think two of you were absent, Engineer Bobadilla and Engineer De La Salota. Ba si Engineer Bobadilla?
Good evening, sir. Nagsulit ko siya. Bago lang, sir, nawa.
Yeah, so by the way, some of you are not able to submit the initial output of your first assignment to include Engineer Namukatkat. Engineer Linzer Quinn, why? I think ang
Ay, sir, cut-off magod, sir, kaya 12 noon, tapos ay ako kasiguro buhat, sir, ba mga laon na kay duty pa mga buhat, sir, 1. Tama, may alas 12. Kaya pa ako nakasugod sa pagka 1 p.m. So, mga by 4, sir, na human, tato na ako, tapos hindi naman siya pwede masubmit ang output. Pero dato ko nagsabit din karon sa court, sir, katong first bitaw ni mag-send katong 1 and 2 nasan yan. Pero dato, sir.
Yeah, I'd seen your submission for the students who submitted. I think some of you get the 468 kilonewton for the reactions, 19.5 for the moment, and based on the results I start. So some of you were able to answer also using the stats. I think you have now more or a better understanding on how to use the software na about the stat. So you are using what version is in your stat? Engineer Dea, what version you are using?
Good evening, sir. 2022, sir.
Conic Edition 2022. Yeah, also from the interface, of the Visual Basic. Okay. So I'll just remind no katong wala nakasubmit. I think we have almost all of you submitted naman except only for one of your classmates, no? Okay, so who will volunteer no, to share the solution of your assignment? I think it's better if you are going to share your assignment in Engineer Dea, since you arrive with the correct answer.
Okay, sir. Pasang i-open ang file, sir.
Yeah, you made it, no, and you also make a program. So I think it's better, no, Engineer Dea, please share the solution you've got now, since you have the correct answer. No?
Okay, sir.
Now, Engineer Mark, no, I think I will really check your attendance, Engineer Mark.
Good evening, Sir Present po, sir. So, yun ay kung sila sa sulangan.
Engineer Day, can you, it's better siguro na you share also after make Visual Basic a program and then your start.
Okay, sir. Actually, sir, it is also included in this assignment. So, dili lang ko sure, sir, if mukaya akong laptop o share screen kamulong kuan, sir. Kamulong share screen and staad kay medyo low duty na ni akong laptop, sir. Pero I'll try, sir. So, good evening, everyone. Good evening, sir. This is by far the solution I was able to come up for the assignment 1. So, the first problem was this fixed support beam wherein it had this temperature load. So, the following values were given. There was this length, temperature, T2, T1, alpha of 11.7, and then the diameter, the depth rather, and the moment of inertia, as well as the modulus of elasticity. So it was also given in the problem that there is actually an expected answer to come up. So there was this comparison with regards to the horizontal reaction at A and as well as the moment in terms of using the theoretical and as well as the STAAD Pro. So based on the final answer that I was able to come up, I have also come up with the same answer for the horizontal reaction as well as the moment in terms of conducting it theoretically and as well as the SAAD. And additionally, I was also able to program it through the Visual Basic, sir. So start with the manual solution. This is just a simple and brief solution for the theoretical problem. Basically, we are just asked to calculate for the reactions on the fixed ends. So all I did was to some moments, some forces along the x-axis because there are acting forces are. And then we also have to take note that there is the formula for the thermal strain wherein the formula is the alpha multiplied by the change of T. And then let's also take into consideration that there is also a formula for the thermal stress, which has this formula of Young's modulus of elasticity, alpha, and the change of T. And then let's recall that stress is equals just to force over area. And then if we are just to transpose and isolate force, we will be able to plus the area. So doing that same concept of going back, basically if we are to just look at the given problem, we can actually deduce that the forces acting on the reaction A and B are just equal, but they are in opposite direction because aside from the fact that there are other no loads applied, so wala siya, it's external nga added loads rather. So going back, that's F is equals to stress over A. So this is just stress and then A. So what I did is just to plug in the formula, 200,000 times 10 to the power of 6, 11.7 times 10 to the power of negative 6. Then change in T of T is 40. And then lastly is the area. And this is the final answer. So that's 468 kilonewton for the reaction at A, and reaction in B is negative 468. And then for taking the moment, let's recall that there is a formula for taking the moments, which is what they call this, Young's modulus of elasticity and multiplied to the moment of inertia multiplied by the curvature. Now take note that in order for us to get the curvature, we also have to take into consideration the formula for the radius of curvature, which has this formula of d divided by alpha multiplied by the change in t. And then take note that the reciprocal of just the radius of curvature is just the curvature. So doing that same, plugging in that formula, E values rather, and then moment of inertia as well as the kappa or the curvature, we will be able to get the final answer, which is 19.5. So that's the end for the manual solution. So on the other hand, for the STAAD solution, snippet lang ni siya, sir. But this is after running the program, naatay reaction, sir, that we were able, after running the program, we go to the post-processing for us to be able to get, to determine the reactions, values for the reactions. So other way of doing that is through this, so naatay support reaction window there that will be showcasing the Fx and other forces that are present. So in this case, naatay Fx and as well as Mz. So basically, if we will be zooming that in, we will be generating to 468 and negative 468 and as well as negative 19.5 and 19.5. Other way of doing this, extracting this is through the output reports rather, post-processing then reports tab, wherein na-adjud po siya a specific nga exported PDF that will be displaying the beam force detail summary, showcasing the actual force that has governed and as well as the bending. So wag hapon ni siya, but again, this was extracted through this button here, the reports and the beam and of beam force detail summary na siya, sir. So doing the same, so gi-embed ra pud gihapon nako si post-processing. And then sa post-processing, katong exported file kay naaga pud ma-generate dito ang values for the forces X and as well as the moment and Z. So basically, satisfying our theoretical and STAAD. So basically, they have coincided. Now, lastly, for my Visual Basic solution. So the first thing that I was able to do is actually to explore how was I able to create this was actually katong day nga paghatag ni sir. So nag-explore na ko Visual Basic daan. So medyo okay na siya slide sa ako ang case. But the thing is, what I did first was actually to create the form file, which is that FRM, because that is gonna be the user interface or the UI. So mo ako siyang gihimo nga I have added some labels, so labels and as well as the text box. So after doing that, aside from those buttons, the labels and the text box, I was also able to add a command solve button in this case, and as well as another text box here. So
After plugging in those value, the first thing that I did was actually, so niabot naman kog alas 2 atos kadlaw ko, matulog na lang sa ako kay murag mabuwang na tingali ko og dilin og ako pa ni siyang padayonon. So mo to pagkabuntag, luckily in time to do this project, I do this assignment, so I was able to repair my codes. So mo to siya, sirs and ma'am. So if we are trying to zoom in, so natin ma-generate nga results RA, RB, and moment, which is similar or coincide sa ato ang final answers. So, mo lang to siya, sir.
Yeah, please open up your BP, Biswat. I think some of you have the same answers with Engineer Dea, Engineer Bandoles. Wala mo nag-collaborate.
Sir, ako lang siyang i-run. Makita na ba, sir? Or hinik yung signal diri, sir? Okay. So, maano siya, ma'ams and sirs, ang ako ang recall this interface if maglantaw ta og Visual Basic. So, simple lang kahit ako yung interface kay dinalian man gud to siya. So, man siya akong code, but as you can see here, mo ni siyang gitatawag nga .vbp nga file, and then under that .vbp is the .frm, which is the form. Basically sa akong pagsabot is .frm is just how will the interface looks like. So mo gyud ang first gihimo is ang interface sa gyud. So pag ato ni siyang i-press ang run, ma'ams and sirs, so naatay mo pop up nga another, what do you call this, another window. Tas diri lang din ta mag-type sa ato ang values, which is in this case 7.5. So that is 40, and then 50, and then so 0.1234117. Moment of inertia is 5,000. Young's modulus is 200, and then 0.3, and then 50-50. And then if we are done typing in our values, we just have to press solve lang. So nakoy na sayo. Ay kulang og 0 ang ako ang Young's modulus dai. Tingala ko sayo man. Nara. Ay. Wait lang sir, ako sa iriran. Nasakto naman. Wait lang sir. At 7.5, 40, 50, 0, 4, 117, 5,000, 200. 30. Okay. Cross section is 50. And then 50. Another day, sir. Ang akong mali nga gihimo kaganiya is I actually type 0.3 for the beam depth, which is mao kasi ang depth ay murag D dito sa assignment 2. Murag na mix up na nako sila ang assignment 1 ug 2, sir. Maura to siya, sir.
Please change your beam length
Into unsa, sir?
10 meters ang beam length.
Beam depth to 3 pila, sir? Meters?
Beam length. Beam length.
Okay.
Ano to?
Length.
7.5 to 10.
7.5 na ni siya, sir. What value should I change this to, sir?
10.
10.
10.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir, 10. Ako sa Giriran, sir. Ha? Ano ba ni?
Dili mag-matter out ang length.
Dili mag-matter day ang length, sir.
Yeah. So it's your temperature into 10.
Sir, damagan, medyo choppy, sir.
Temperature, change that.
Temperature. 7.5 and then this one, sir, the T1, sir. Or try na lang na to, sir. T1. Ara, sir. Nag 117, sir. Ang RA ug RB.
At the moment still the same. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So change the cross-section area.
Cross-section
Ito,
area 100. So wala nag-change ang moment, sir. Check na lang na to, sir. So moment, so ang temperature nga 50, sir. Kani siya dapat ang i-change. Butang na to 100. Ayaw pa siya na-change, sir.
So, any question from the students?
Simple lagi kayo pa akong interface mga sensors kay dinalian pa.
Boy, pagkakaroon. No, hindi ito. Yeah.
Sir? Sir?
Simple pagkakaroon. So, mani, no? At then, bibig.
Simple po, sir. Kay
Sa kundi.
dili pa kay ko kabalo sa UI interface niya, sir. Kung saan pag-kubi din. Pagka-assignment to, nakabalo na din ko nga pwede din ma-change ang mga background. Mga background and everything, mga colors. Stop sharing ko, sir, ha? Okay.
Yeah. The students. Lagi mo ka. Ha? Kita perlu kita itu bukan sir. But some of your classmates know na once sila to be continued. So, na-continue ba ni? Engineer, the same answers but one classmate is partially pag no, medyo wala pa sila naka-visualize. Okay. We have also another classmate. Manual solution is okay, no? Type niyo ang correct answer and then using the Visual Basic with a different interface and the same answer also. Okay, so medyo okay po niyang solution sa body classmate, no? So ang uban naglabeling pa, no? The moments, the force X. Okay, so any force X, no, sa istaad, no, if I will ask you, this is referring to what force? yung force X or Fx. So it is usually referring to what force? Sa atong structural. Sa start naman kay Fx, di ba? Na kay Fy, okay. Fz. So napog kay bending moment. M. Mx na kay My o Mz. Okay? So kanang Fx. What is that force referring to?
Actual load set. For actual force.
Referring to axial load, no? So this is referring to the axial load. So thank you for that. Hindi na yung cut, no? So how about the Fy and the Fz? Kung sama na siya na parameters na nag-refer. Ang Fy, this is referring to
Shear force, sir.
na
Shear
Okay.
force.
kung saan ang shear force.
Shear force, sir, parallel sa longer side sa beam. Ay, longer dimension.
Kung saan siya ang shear force. Ang Fy, kung saan ang shear force.
Shear force along Y, sir.
General principle, kung saan siya ang shear force. Hindi ka alam why mo, hindi pagitan siya mga exact. Kung saan ang shear force. Ang Fz, kung saan ang Fz. What is Fz kung ang Fy is the shear force? Kung saan maday si Fz or Fz.
Ang FZ, sir, kay shear force, yapon siya, sir. Pero parallel sa shorter side sa dimension sa beam.
Advanced engineer to think, no? So meaning, ang Fy o ang Fz or Fz, shear force na siya. But exactly, unsa gid si Fy o unsa pud si Fz. Ha? Ganun si Fy, mauna ang inyong major na shear force. Major. Ang si Fz or Fz, mauna si minor. Okay? Tama, engineer to think?
Yes, sir.
So, yun na remember kay basic ito na siya sa structural engineering. So, tama si engineer na makakat ang Fx is referring to the axial force. Tumpak, no? Si Fy o si Fz referring to the shear force, but exact yung term nila na isang Fy is the major na shear force o the Fz is the minor na shear force. So, ang M, napaluman ta sa M na binding moment na siya, right? So, kumingin kag Mx mo na si binding moment, no? So, unsa man si My, si Mz. Remember ka ba mga nasa inyo undergrad? So, the same po na siya si My o si Mz. No? Binding po na siya, but ang itabo lang ni My is siya ang minor na binding moment. And then, ang si Mz, siya ang major. No? So, dito sa shear, si Fy is ang major shear, si Fz is ang minor. Pag-abot sa moment, no? Bali sila, no? Si My, maupo na siya ang minor na binding, o si Mz, maupo na siya ang si major. Okay, so, muna siya ang naka-basic sa atong structural engineering mga principles. So tonight, engineer Lin Sir no? Hindi ko mag observation kanang dili dito sa Google Classroom with this term na to sa video term. All submission shall be submitted to the Google Classroom. No? So i-open na po again ang submission sa Google Classroom. And then please do submit. No? So I give you some time to work out on your problem number 2. No? And then limited time lang. So sa timing nyo karon. Alas 7:05. So I'll give you an hour and then after an hour na ko'y tutorial para sa atong direct stiffness method before ta mag-end sa atong klase. So based on the syllabus, no, I hope na nakita ninyo itong syllabus na ata dito karon sa direct stiffness method. So I'll give you a tutorial, no? Video tutorial or as an introduction to the direct stiffness method. And then after that, assignment na po na number 3 akong yatan sa inyo no, for this evening. I think some of you nauman naman siguro sa Engineer Diaz assignment number 2. Or sa engineer na makatkat. Are you done with your assignment number 2?
Nag-submit mo sa patunggalan ito kita sir. Todo ko nagpasa.
Ito, including the number 2.
Yes sir.
So, based on your submission, no? Nanin naman sa number 1, but si number 2, wala pa ang but. So, another student is only partial submission of assignment number 1. And then, another student is only submitting the assignment number 1. And then one of your classmates, no, have submitted partially the assignment number 2, but he don't have yet the Visual Basic Programming. And also one of your classmates have submitted only assignment number 1. Okay, okay. So tonight, no, most of you haven't submitted yet, no, on your assignment number 2. So I'll give you some time. Since 7:10 until 8, work out your assignment number 2, and then after 8, no, we will have I'll share to you, no, a lecture on the direct stiffness method as an introduction. Kay mama na siya ang pinaka-basic, no, sa structural analysis. Pinaka-matrix. Pinaka-easy na method na programming is using matrix, no, method, because dali ka kailin sa mga program instead of using equations, no, a lot of equations. But if you are used to of using equations, you can do so, but most of the program mo ng software, no, matrix method na sila because dali na siya i-program. So muna siya ang atong share na akong record din sa video tutorial on the direct stiffness method, no, para kuha yung basics, no, sa matrix method. So please do your assignment number 2 because the deadline, no, is Wednesday. So akong ibutan ang deadline, guys. at 5 p.m. lang. So, ini submission din 5 na. So, dili na ma-accept ang Google Classroom. No? Okay, so you may start not doing your assignment and then until 8 lang, and then you the activity, and then we'll proceed sa discussion sa the extensions method after that.
Sir, i-open yung mga assignment on para lang ito
Yeah, akong i-open, and then after this one, din ako mag-accept of submission na link. No, if possible, please do submit on time. So, kaya pong output ninyo karon ni initial sa number 2 ng assignment, submit po na ninyo. So, tagan tamong time until 10, no? Until 10 p.m. kay para na mo'y enough po na time na inyo nang i-finalize inyong manual calculation o ang inyong initial output ng program is visualization. Di ba naka sa school din na engineer Dea? Naka sa school ka?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nako sa room, sir. Nako mga students sa likod, sir.
Okay. Sige. So, please do now your assignment number 2 no, until 8 lang. So, pagbulat ko until 8, proceed din ka sa lecture sa one. Next na discussion. Na-klase ka, engineer Dea?
Yes, sir.
Ang next mag-share siya ang initial output si Engineer Bandulis, no? Mag-share siya ang initial output to match Engineer Bandulis. So, be ready, Engineer Bandulis. So, kani pong i-share na akong video tutorial sa direct students method. No? Ako po niya i-share ang link dito sa Google Classroom para po anytime pwede niyo siya ma-access ang link sa tutorial. Also, no, katong inyong assignment number 1, kung naka-complete na mo o i-mo yung assignment number 1, I will make a submission link, no, para submit nyo in 100% na submission ng assignment number 1. Okay? nga nihapon ang uban. So while playing the video, no, this is in reference, no, to the Eric stiffness method, no, kanang ginatawag na to nga matrix method in programming later on. So kani nga video tutorial is using a MATLAB lang, no, for this case. But on your end, since you've started the Visual Basic, so I advise everyone, no, to utilize and use the Visual Basic programming. But if ever na mas comfortable mo sa MATLAB, no, based on the tutorial video, so you can do so, no, if ever nga gusto mo mag-MATLAB. No, but I think the most, no, I believe also that the most comfortable programming kung na-encounter, no, sa duwa sa MATLAB o sa Visual Basic is mas okay ang Visual Basic than the MATLAB. No, but depende po na sa inyong pacing, no, mga students. If ever you wanted to use the MATLAB software in your programming, you can proceed, no, with your program in MATLAB. Okay, so it's just kuan lang ni siya, no, 11 minutes lang ni siya na video, 11 minutes and 37 seconds. And then I will leave the remaining mga gi-upload na ko nga video, no, sa atong Google Classroom. Nakita ba ninyo yung Engineer Dea ang until 6 ka mga lecture videos?
Yes, sir. Makita na po ito.
Yeah, ako na nang i-leave sa inyo ang remaining, no. So for this night, kanilang sang stiffness method na introduction and concept atong unahon o play, no, sa atong klase. For your reference ni siya, no, para mag-guide po mo sa programming. So mao po ni siya ang gina-share po, no, from the IIT po nga mga videos before. No, when I have my master's degree. So nakatabang gid siya. But I'm using the Visual Basic, no, rather than the MATLAB. But we try also the MATLAB, pero mao lagi na depende sa estudyante kung asa siya mas comfortable. No, pero I advise you to use the Visual Basic kay mao gina siya ang pinaka fundamental nga programming nga much better pa siya ang iyang mga commands, no, kaysa MATLAB. Ang MATLAB, kung ang mga MATLAB, no, kanang it needs license, no, academic license. Otherwise, kung na may crack, okay ra, kung na may crack, no. So, mag-share screen sa ta before ko ano. I hope you can see the video. Engineer Dea, kaning Google Meet, no, kanang pareha ba siya sa Zoom nga mag-share sound pa or automatic na?
So for the step 1,
Sir, kanang whenever share screen ka, sir, na lang ka-itik na
in this
button.
one,
Share with audio, sir.
Yeah, the same sa Zoom gyapon siya. Nga share audio gyapon. Yeah, i-try na to play, no. I think there's no button for the share audio, Engineer Dea. Na ba? Also share tab audio, okay. So naka-on na siya, okay na niya siya. So let's play, no, 11 minutes lang niya and 37 seconds, students. So ang submission ninyo sa inyo initial output for the assignment number 2 is until 10, ang ibutang, no, 10 p.m. para na may enough time. So ang remaining ana sa Wednesday na po.
Welcome to this series of lectures on the stiffness method, also known as the direct stiffness method. This is an extremely important method, and it is the basis of the finite element method, one of the most widely used methods in engineering practice today. In this series, we will learn why the stiffness method is important. We will develop the stiffness matrices for various elements, learn how to incorporate them together to form a global stiffness matrix, and then use the governing equation to solve the structures. We'll also learn to code all this theory into a program to solve the structures. The stiffness method became popular in the mid-20th century as engineers were dealing with increasingly large and complex structures. Classical methods like force or flexibility methods quickly became impractical. What makes the stiffness method stand out is that it's systematic and works well with computers. This directly paved the way for finite element analysis, which you'll recognize as the backbone of modern engineering design software. The fundamental idea is actually quite simple. We look at how forces and displacements are related at key points. Each part of any structure, whether it's a truss member, a beam, or a frame, has a stiffness matrix, and that defines how much force is needed to produce a certain displacement. We should note that in structures we don't only have straight line movements to consider, but we also have rotations. So displacement vectors include both translations and rotations. Similarly, the force vector includes not just forces, but also moments. We can write this relationship compactly as F equals K times D. The force equals the stiffness times the displacement. This simple equation is the building block of the entire method. This compact equation is what makes the method so powerful and general. Before we dive into the procedure, however, let's discuss some basic concepts. On the next few slides, we'll discuss the main concepts we need to understand before we discuss the procedure and start developing the stiffness matrices. First, we need a consistent sign convention. We take displacements as positive in the global x and y directions, and rotations, which are anti-clockwise, as positive. Similarly, nodal forces and moments are positive when they act in these same directions. Similarly, nodal forces and moments are also positive when they act in these same directions. The stiffness matrix is built on these assumptions, and keeping the convention consistent is essential when we assemble the contributions from each part of the structure. We can also represent the moment like this, using two arrows. The stiffness method begins by dividing the structure into elements. These elements are the individual members or components of the structure, beams, truss bars, or frame members, and each of these connects two or more nodes. Nodes are assigned at any location in the structure where there is a change. For example, where we have boundary conditions, applied loads, or hinges, but they can also be placed where material or geometric properties change, such as a different cross-section or new material. In short, any point of interest in the structure is defined as a node. Let's see a few examples. So here we can see a simply supported beam with a point load. And if I divide that into nodes and elements, you can see that this is two elements because I've had to add a node at that point of interest where there is a point load. Obviously, I already put nodes where there were boundary conditions. In this truss, for example, I will put a node at every hinge, and the elements are between these nodes. In trusses, the loads are at the hinges, and therefore there won't be a need for me to define any additional nodes based on loads that are in the middle of the bar. However, I might have to add additional nodes if there is a change in the cross-section properties or materials, like in this case here. This is a cantilever with a point load at the end, but note that in the middle there is a change of cross-section. And that change of cross-section means that I do need to add a node at that point of interest. Each element will have its own stiffness matrix that defines how it resists deformation, as well as physical properties such as length, cross-sectional area, and the material stiffness, which is typically represented by Young's modulus. The behavior of the entire element can then be determined by how its end nodes displace under load. By focusing on nodal displacements and nodal forces, the stiffness method allows us to represent the entire structure in terms of a set of matrices. At each node, we need to define the possible ways it can move, and these are called degrees of freedom, or DOFs. These are the unknowns that we solve for in the stiffness method. The number and type of degrees of freedom at a node depend on the type of structure and whether the analysis is 1D, 2D, or 3D. In trusses, for example, each node usually has one translational degree of freedom in the axial direction of the member. In 2D structures, like beams and frames, each node typically has two translational degrees of freedom, parallel and perpendicular movement to the element, i.e. axial and shear, as well as one degree of freedom, which is rotational, rotation about the out-of-plane axis. If we were to look at 3D structures like space frames, each node could have up to 3 degrees of freedom that are translational and 3 degrees of freedom that are rotational. Let's see what that means for the truss we saw in the slide earlier. If we start off with this truss that we divided into nodes and elements, we can take a closer look at the element between nodes 1 and 2, element 1. This is a truss element, so it'll only have forces and displacements in the axial direction. 1 at node 1 and 1 at node 2, so 2 degrees of freedom in total for this element. Each element is represented mathematically by its stiffness matrix. This matrix defines the relationship between nodal displacements and nodal forces or moments. Its form depends on the element's physical properties: length, cross-sectional area, moment of inertia, and the material's Young's modulus. These govern how stiff the element is and how it resists deformation. By calculating each element's stiffness matrix, we can build up the structural behavior piece by piece. Each element's stiffness matrix is first written in its own local coordinate system, which is aligned with the axis of the element. That makes the maths much simpler. But because every element may be oriented differently in the structure, we need to convert these local stiffness matrices into a global coordinate system. The global coordinate system is shared by the entire structure. If we look at the truss from before, the global coordinate system for the full structure is the global XY system. However, if we look at one of the diagonal members, its local coordinates are along the axis of the member, as you can see here. This transformation step ensures that all elements are described consistently, so they can be assembled together into one global stiffness matrix. Don't worry if any of these concepts seem difficult. We'll cover them all in great detail as we go through.
Okay, so speaking about the global and local axis, what are your observations? What's the difference? So this is very significant no sa mga software like STAAD. So when can you say that you only consider local buckling or global buckling? So the same as the global and the local axis. So what is global, by the way, as per the discussion in this video? What's the difference between the global and local? Anyone? Aman si Engineer Onabia.
Based lang sa video ng sir kay kung local man gud sir kay based lang siya sa kanang certain nga element or member lang bitaw sir, then kung global referring na siya sa whole structure na mura po akong pagsabot sir.
So why do you think this is referring to the whole structure when we speak about global axis? Why? Unsa gyud reason why the global axis represents the whole of the structure, not per element? Anyone? Kay always na to ma-encounter ni in any structural software. We need to consider only local buckling and local deformation, local displacement, And then there's a time then sa atong structural software we will speak about the global access and the global deformation. Kaya ang main reason niya na because ang imong building structure, no, you cannot design this one just like before. What are your observations before? No, years ago or decade ago. Diba, as you can notice that the designer before or the structural engineer before only consider the maximum, especially when designing a column. Diba, sa una is we always get what's the maximum axial load. Among all the columns, unsa tong column nga nag-carry sa maximum nga axial load, ora to i-design sa mga civil engineers before, sa mga structural engineers. And then, after that, all throughout the dayon, muna ang sizes sa mga columns kay mao man to siya ang maximum load. Among all the columns, muna siya ang column nga nag-carry sa maximum nga axial load. So, when you design that column, applied to all the columns na siyang imong dimension. So what's the advantage and disadvantage of that kind of thinking or engineering na practice? Is it applicable today or it is a bad practice? Good ba na sa practice? Engineer Capitano? Or is it acceptable na practice among engineers? Even now, we can see some engineers nga gamit anak nga method. So, is it acceptable nowadays? Is it a good practice? Is it a bad practice? Engineer Capitano?
For me lang, sir, if kanang mga simple structures lang or kanang mga symmetrical, maybe okay lang siya, pero kung kanang mga unsymmetrical, then na naman po tayo karon, so mas tiyada po nga gamiton na lang nato ang katong sa global instead of katong isa lang ang atong i-consider.
So, you still consider the design considering the column carrying the maximum axial load, and then after that mura na i-design mo. So i-accept pagyapon na siya ni mga engineering approach karon. So no matter kung kuan lugar siya, no, kanang unsa siya nga software, pwede ra as long as symmetrical ang imong building structure, so pwede ra Engineer Capitano. That's what you mean.
Yes, sir.
Anyone from the students? Any arguments about that, no? Kanang as long as symmetrical ang structure, so you can design only one column, and then after the design you apply the column to all other columns, no, at the same size and maybe shapes, no? Do you agree, everyone, or you do not agree? Engineer Dea.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree or do you disagree?
Kung sa ancient times, sir, acceptable yun ang assumption kay we cannot definitely estimate magud the directly good in terms of numerical. Pero in today's society, sir, murag we do have to take into consideration others, sir, nga dapat dili na to pwede nga i-assume siya all throughout tungod kay Same atong mag-agree ko sa gingan ni Ma'am Gabitano, sir. Tungod kay applicable lang tingali siya kung regular, pero kung irregular, hindi siya pwede nga ma-assume ni all throughout, sir. Kay aside from the fact that it is uneconomical, napoy tendency, sir, nga dili sakto yung pag-calculate mo akong opinion, sir.
So, how about Engineer Namukatkat? Do you agree or disagree?
For me, sir, amo gyapon to, sir, if i-consider na to karon, so dili ko mo agree, sir, since if i-consider lang nato ang maximum tapos i-design nato siya sa tanan is mo bugat ang atong structure, so which is atong earthquake man is gapan man siya sa dead load. So if i-design nato ang tanan members sa base sa maximum, so ang tanan nato members dagko kayo, so sapat pa din na is pan pa din siya sa earthquake, so sa pag-sway or bugat man gatong ang atong structure. Mao po akong concept observation.
You go deeper about that discussion. So, mudugang sa dead load, no? Kaya maximum.
Yes, sir.
So, i-design mo ang uban columns with that maximum column nga nag-carry og maximum loading. So, instead of dili sila pareha lugar og size, gimo siyang dako nga size.
Yes, sir. Kung imo siya i-consider, so dapat kung sir, kanang lahi-lahi gyud dapat open.
Yeah.
Remember,
If dako ang dead load, unsa may tabo? Kaya imo man gi-pareha ang sizes din sa mga columns. What will happen? What would be the implication of that sa design?
Based akong cancer, bali if dagko atong column, so pan man pud sa atong footing, so dagko pud atong footing members. Tapos ang ato pud yung base pud sa atong NCP is na sa atong earthquake is mag-add ta og katong sa vertical load, katong Nairo, katong formula sa NCP na mag-additional og
mag-add ta sa vertical og
naman to yung cancer katong ang ato man dayong earthquake, ang total earthquake na to is E horizontal plus E vertical. So katong E vertical na to is not formula to sa NCP is meron siya additional na dead load. So kato siyang dead load is ma-add pa to siya sa atong previous na to na or sa atong structure na dead load. So mas mudako og ayo ang effect sa earthquake sa atong structure if bugat ang atong members.
So I think you have a point, no? You're right on that, no? So you are considering the horizontal and vertical component of an earthquake, no? And then instead of a certain column, no, kaning column is mara ni siya maximum, but you design the other columns nga gagmay ra day ang ilay carry na loading. So making it a lot bigger, no, than its intended unta nga size nga saktura for a certain load. So nag-add siya o gravity load, no, kanang dead load, nag-add siya, no, and then consequently that dead load will go down, no, to the footing or foundation. So nidako ang imong footing or foundation. So after that, you have mentioned ang earthquake component, no, ang E-vertical, E-horizontal, and then given na lang, ibutan na to ang rho equals to 1.0, no, for that earthquake horizontal. So what will happen then kung nidako ang imong foundation or footing? Students, what will happen kung nidako ang imong footing compared to a lesser unta nga size sa imong footing, gamay unta nga size, but imong manggigamit ang maximum nidako? Unsa man ang iyang implication?
Depende rin sa condenser sa solid na carry ba niya ang soil bearing capacity din natin, sir, if kung ba ang soil sa itong footing since bugat naman ang itong footing member. Tapos aside po lang na, sir, economical na kayo, sir, na or possibly na sir, if mga regular lang na mga structure, example mga balay lang, so mga dikit dolbol ra to mga column, so possibly na mag-merge na to mga column sila sir sa pag-design sa mga based po na sa una observe po sir na dako gid ang footing, so
Thank you for that observation. And you are right on that observation, Engineer Lamukatkat. But I really wanted an exact answer no nga nagikigulat na inyong ma-mention no, Engineer Tuting. Unsa implication na kunidako ang imong footing instead of gamay rande unta na siya nga size sa imong column o footing. Unsa implication nga nidako?
Kuan sir bay. Pareho na po mig-answer ni Engineer na Lamukatkat. Wala kayo ko'y matig na lain.
Wala kayo nakita nga lain aside from the EHAV sa earthquake. How about sa soil? Sa economic niya, dili naman economical, no? Because gipadako naman nimo, so uneconomical. So over-conservative na kayo siya. So, usa gyud ang pinaka-importante nga aspect nga maoy makahimo sa imong structure nga risky na nun siya during earthquake. Even if wala nag-earthquake, nahimo siyang risky. How much more kung naglinog na, much more risky na nun ang imong structure. Unsa man na siya nga aspect of parameters. Engineer Bandulis.
Kuan sir, same nagsuon-suon ra gyapon idea sila. For me sir, if earthquake kay basin settlement concern sir, kung mas dako ang footing kay basin.
Good, no, good. So discuss further settlement. You're right, no settlement. Discuss further, Engineer Bandulis.
Kay kuan the structure may still even settle even with a bigger footing sir, pero kuan mo good if footings are very large kay kuan and others are smaller, ang possibility kay na ay kuan differential kana bitong difference sa settlement per footing. Mura po ako sir. Sige na sir.
So that's the exact parameter or aspect no sa mapiktuhan because of that kind of engineering practice, no? Settlement. So instead of kaniron ta ang ikiri no sa imong kulong nga load and then gamay ra iyang size sa iyang foundation gamay. So ang imong soil properties is kani but imong gibugatan no kay imong mangipadako. So what will happen to the soil? Instead of carrying this kind of load lang 100 kilonewton but gimo nimong 500. So nabugatan siya. No kay apil man sa design no sa structural or geotechnical engineering foundation ang soil properties. So nabugatan siya, what will happen? No, ni-unload siya. So diyan na mo comes in ang settlement. Ni-unload siya instead of exact unta nga kolom nga 25 by 25 lagi mo nimong 40 by 40. So ni-unload. So na settlement. And then mo nang ginatawag nato nga differential settlement na dayon. Nganong differential? Because you are putting and designing the other columns on the kind of loading nga dili mao ang exact niya nga gikiri. So nagsettle siya. So differential settlement. So ni down ang imo isa column niya. How about the other columns? Ni down gyapon. Do dili uniform ang iyang settlement but like settlement mo na nang gitawag sa differential settlement. So that's the time then nga na put into rest ang imong structure. Even if walay linog, how much more kung maglinog og 7.8 just like sa Sarangani. So samot gid siya ka settled ang imong kuan no, ang imong foundation. So that will result then somewhat basig mo ng reason why mag-collapse ang imong building. No, kay damay tendency nga dako ang settlement sa pika so imbalance na. And dili kayo maayo ang quality sa concrete during the construction and implementation. Wala gi-inspect ang mga spacer no, ang mga stirrups. mga reinforcement. So nagka-accumulate na. So maybe that's the cause no na nag-collapse. Kung wala man gali nag-totally collapse but the damage sa imong building. So mo nang disadvantage no ng graduate students. So do not ever adopt that kind of engineering practice no kanang isarang imong i-design and then applicable to all. Parehara na siya sa UBC. Ako siyang i-compare no sa UBC nga ginagamit nato 1997. Ang ginagamit na to is coming from America mangguna nga UBC nga response spectrum. But we are using that. Parehara na ang iyang atong comparison, but we are using that one. So ang naitabo sa atong mga buildings kuan na kayo no kanang conservative ra kayo ang mga design nato. So it entails no economic no nga dili siya economical kay meaning anang conservative dako ra ang iyang sizes compared to dili unta dako. So that's why atong code karon nag-encourage gud siya og a site specific nga mga response spectrum. Dili na UBC 1997 kay kana laging naka-plateau niya nga part sa sa response spectrum nga naka-straight na siya until 1 second. Mo na siya ang uncertainty nga wa ka kabalo. Muna nag-assume sila nga taas kay wala sila kabalo. So conservative na kayo. So when you have a data nga site specific yun siya in which mo na ang gina-advise karon sa PBOX no. So, based sa findings karon sa PBOX kanang mga linog-linog karon sa Sarangani, they are advising to consider site-specific data. So one of those data nga site-specific ang gigamit nato sa atong design is ang response spectrum. Another one is soil properties. No? Mga kanang response spectrum kung dili manggalin na imong gamiton, time histories, pwede ra. But kana yung duwa, site, soil properties and response spectrum or time histories mao gyud na siya ang kinahanglan nga site specific. Otherwise naay mga ambiguities o uncertainties sa imong design sa imong building structure. Okay? So let's continue student no for this video.
Through the lectures. The last fundamental concepts before we move on to the procedure are boundary conditions and applied loads. Boundary conditions, as you already know, describe how the structure is supported or restrained. For example, whether a point is fixed, pinned, or free to move. Applied loads are the forces or moments acting on the structure. In the stiffness method, both boundary conditions and loads are incorporated into the global system. They define how the structure interacts with its environment and are essential for accurately predicting the structural response. Now that we've covered the fundamental concepts, here's a summary of the stiffness method procedure. First, we divide the structure into elements and nodes. Next, we determine each element's stiffness matrix in its local coordinates. We then transform them into the global coordinate system. All element matrices are assembled into the global stiffness matrix for the entire structure. Boundary conditions and loads are then applied, which allows us to solve the global system of equations for nodal displacements and rotations. And finally, we use these results to calculate the element forces, moments, and support reactions. Following this structured sequence ensures we can handle even very complex indeterminate structures in a systematic and reliable way. And that brings us on neatly to the scope of this course. In this course, we'll be implementing the stiffness method using the matrix approach. The matrix approach is the base for all commercial packages dealing with structural analysis of frame structures, and it's a precursor for the finite element method. Anything which is not structural engineering software and is more general is most likely using finite element solvers. Now that we've completed this introduction and discussed the basic concepts, the structure of this series is as follows. We'll start off by developing the stiffness matrices for three basic structural elements: a bar or truss element, a beam, and a frame element. We'll discuss how these elements combine to form a global stiffness matrix for the whole structure and how we rotate individual elements from their local coordinate system to the global coordinate system. We will then develop the load vector. At this point, we will have all the variables we need to solve the equation and solve displacements. Once we've solved the displacements, we can find reactions and internal forces. We'll then exercise all of this knowledge by implementing the method in a truss, beam, and frame. As this is matrix-based, we will take advantage of mathematical solvers. My go-to for this kind of coding is MATLAB, and I'm lucky enough to have a subscription through my place of work. But an excellent and free alternative is Octave. It's free to download, and I'll allow anyone to join in the fun as we go through this series of lectures. Octave is a high-level language primarily intended for numerical computations. It provides a convenient command line interface for solving linear and nonlinear problems numerically and for performing other numerical experiments using a language that is mostly compatible with MATLAB. You can find more on their website. And that brings us to the end of our
Okay, so I think that's it no for this introduction and concept about direct stiffness method. So after this video no, sa next na to ng mga meeting, i-leave na ako na sa inyo ang remaining ng mga lecture video sa stiffness method. So by next meeting, we will incorporate tayo mga students about the computer methods, no? Computer methods dayon nga using Visual Basic. Mag-solve mo og another problem, so that would be another assignment ninyo. No, assignment number 3, but I will give that assignment by tomorrow na, no, kay gabi na karon. Ako lang na i-upload dito sa atong Google Classroom, and then mao na siyang sugod no, from a very basic Visual Basic programming. We will proceed to the moderate na din programming using truss beams, no. And then after sa midterm, mo proceed na din ta sa complicated na quite complicated na Visual Basic programming, no. Applying the matrix method sa programming. Okay, so before ta mag-end, no, ang wala ganina is si Engineer Bobadilla lang and then si Engineer Di Saluta. So, nana ba si Engineer Di Saluta? Wala yapon si Engineer Di Saluta, no? So, mag-screenshot sa my students, no? Please open your cam, no, for documentation sa atong class tonight, no, and then I will upload this one, no, dito sa GC for documentation. So please open your cam, no, mga students, before ta mag-end. Si Engineer Laruga, Josephine. Si Engineer Daduli. Okay. At ita mag-screenshot kung dili sila mag-open cam, no, students. So thank you, no, and I was students with your answers, no, katong discussion nato kanina about the implication, no, of using a single column sa design among all the columns, no. So I think that's a very good na kuha ninyo, no, na foundation as a structural engineer in the future, no, students. Aman si Engineer Daduli. Engineer James Onabia, any question?
Kanang nalang ko i-conserve kanang clarification regarding sa submission bitaw, sir. Diba, sir, kay ang assignment number 2 initial submission is karong as GIS. Kay
Yes.
ang nasa concern ang namang good sa sa Google Classroom kay ang assignment 1 nga final submission ang naka-due karong 10 PM.
I-appeal lang assignment 1, no? Ito
Okay.
assignment 1.
Okay, sir.
So,
Appeal din.
ang to wala na butang dito.
Sige, sir. Ato na i-appeal pasa na rin, sir.
Ako sa tanong ng assignment to.
Sige, sir.
Assignment number 2, initial submission. Final submission sa assignment 1, 10 p.m. No? And then, ang initial submission na yun sa assignment number 2 is nakabutang June 24, Wednesday man ni siya, no? But you can submit, no? Makasubmit naman mo anytime kaning initial submission ninyo karon. Students. So 10 p.m. ang tagyapon na until 10 pareha sa 1 na final submission. Pero nakabutang lang sa Google Classroom katong Wednesday manguna June 22. Ano? Nasayop siya o kuhan June 22 ni siya. 24 ang nakabutang Engineer Unabia, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, 10 p.m. ako nang gi-change. So 10 p.m. ang duwa, no? Ako nang gi-change. Okay, so aman si Engineer Dadole. Nag-una si Engineer Dadole. Okay, so mag-screenshot ta students, no? And then I will post this one dito sa atong GC. So, thank you students, no, for attending our class and see you this Wednesday. Pwede ta mag-start, no? Nalangay lang ko karon kay napigikon sa office, no? But atong time is 6 to 9 p.m. good siya. Okay. So, thank you everyone. Kung ano may pangutana. So, have a pleasant evening and see you next meeting.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.